Hey, it's Tansel, and here's why you should start training your memory. Let's go. Now, number one, it helps you to solve problems a lot better. Now, how does that work? How does training your memory improve your problem-solving abilities? Well, let's take a look at it, right? The more you train your memory, the more you're figuring out ways to connect the dots. How you're doing that is through association and storytelling and connection. And the more and more you train, your brain starts to figure out ways of developing patterns that don't necessarily exist for random things. For example, if you're training on, say, memorizing a whole bunch of numbers are totally random and they're abstract if you're training on random numbers. So what happens then is you're starting to train numbers that don't make any sense. And the more you do that, the more you start to come up with solutions in order to remember that, right? And the more and more you practice that, you're really practicing your problem-solving abilities as well. All right, so the second one is that you can be way more creative once you start training your memory. Because when you memory train, you're training how to create better images in your head. And you're also training of ways that are out of this world in order to remember. Say, if you want to make things memorable, right, you have to make it stand out. How do you make it stand out? Do you use color? Do you use movement? Do you use association? Do you use exaggeration? So you use all these so-called memory principles to connect to all these stories that you're telling while you're memorizing. And that creates creativity, right? It fosters and develops creativity. And that leads on to our next point of being able to become a better storyteller. So you can tell better stories by training your memory, because now that you know how connection works, you know how storytelling works through association, now you know what sticks in people's heads. And because of that, you become a better storyteller. And then when you train your memory, you're focusing on things that actually work. Why is that important? Because it helps you to become a better communicator with people. Instead of fluffing around in circles, you can get direct to the point, or you can build rapport a lot stronger because you know what works. That's what training your memory allows you to do, to help you become a better communicator. So training your memory improves your decision-making skills. If you've got a whole bunch of decisions to make, if you're a leader or if you're someone that works in a field where you have to make constant decisions, instead of being mentally overwhelmed, because you've got a lot more focus, you can make better decisions, more informed decisions. And because you can visualize a lot better, you could start to see scenarios in your head on if you make that decision or not, what would happen. A lot of the great leaders, what do they have? They have a vision. And if that vision is crystal clear, guess what's going to happen? Decisions leading to that vision are going to be a little bit easier. It may be a difficult decision, but at least you know what to do. So there's the power of training your memory for decision making. An obvious one here is training your memory helps you to learn a lot better. And we're not talking about just memorizing content or memorizing study information, because memorization is different and learning is different. If you train your memory, you're training connection, and you want to be able to connect to what you read or what you listen to. And if you're practicing, not just memorizing, but you're practicing how to absorb using, as I mentioned before, memory principles like movement, association, symbols, things like that. As soon as you start incorporating that into your knowledge, what's going to happen is you're making the content more memorable and you're grasping that knowledge. So it becomes a powerful tool to acquire knowledge. So you learn a lot better. And yes, you can learn a lot better by memorizing stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to learn. You learn by doing a multitude of things, not just memorizing. In fact, memorization is probably one of the last things to do while you're learning something. And the reason for that is it requires a lot of brain energy. And, if you've got a lot of information to learn, the last thing you want to do is use up all that energy. Organizing information first, and then visualizing and learning it, going through absorption methods. I talk about all this in my other videos. So, if you like this sort of stuff, then go check out my other videos on learning and my books as well that I've written on learning. So memory training definitely helps with your learning capabilities and making you a more amazing knowledge acquisitioner. Memory training boosts your confidence in all aspects of life. And I truly believe this, because if you can improve your memory for, say, remembering names, so you've improved your confidence maybe speaking to people and saying their names, names. And as you're training more and more, maybe it's helping you to remember some of their details, or maybe they've got a dog, or, they do this particular work. So you're starting to use your super strength, super mental abilities to connect deeper, as I mentioned earlier. But it's extremely powerful in a way where it really helps your confidence once you're 100% sure of that you know what's going on. So it brings back control. And if you've got control of something, guess what? You become more confident in your abilities. If you have no control, then you start sort of scattering around trying to find answers, right? And even then, if you've trained your memory, you know how to get to the answers because you know that it works. So it gives you confidence. There you go. If you're delivering a speech, well, you're going to remember your speech, right? So you're going to be way more confident. If you've got an exam coming up and you've used the memory techniques and you've, organized all your mind maps and your notes perfectly, guess what? You're going to be confident for your exams. It makes total sense. It does improve your confidence, training your memory. So training your memory helps you to focus a lot longer and concentrate, right? So if you're listening to someone, if you're watching this video, you can watch it all the way, right? I know a lot of people don't watch videos all throughout, but if you can stay tuned, stick with that knowledge, you'll gain so much more by sticking with something, by watching this video to the end, by reading that book to the end, or by doing a task and sticking with that task. And it also leads into other areas like discipline. If you're disciplined, you're going to get stuff done. If you're not disciplined, if you're floating around, if you're taking breaks in a way where you really should be doing something, well, it's not going to work for you. Increasing your ability to concentrate is really key, right? And focus. So there you go. The benefits of memory training and why you should do it. If you've got many more benefits, if you've trained your memory, comment down below. What have you noticed by training your memory? I know for myself, it's really helped me in my learning abilities on how to build a better coaching business. Because I've been coaching for over 20 years and I'd never been able to get here if it wasn't for learning and really enhancing my ability to acquire information fast so I can get to where I want a lot quicker. There are no shortcuts. It's just making sure that you know exactly what to do and how to help people, especially in my profession. It's helped me in my abilities to become a better communicator, something I'm always working on. Obviously, that's why I started my YouTube channel, so I can become a better communicator. And for those that do have a YouTube channel, you know how challenging it is to be in front of a camera. So there it is, training your memory. Go ahead and practice, learn from people, watch all my videos. I'm even available for coaching, although there's limited spots. So if you're interested, comment down below or go to my website, tansalala.com. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.